What's up, my do life in a body you love chicks? We're gonna get sassy today. There is this trend on Reels that I actually got really excited about at first, because the caption on most of these is like 7 things or 10 things or whatever, to know that you're burning fat. And I thought, oh, awesome, because you guys know I am much more concerned with body recomposition, where we are building muscle and burning fat, as opposed to just trying to drive the number on the scale down for the sake of being, quote, skinny. And so I thought, excellent. These influencers are finally going to use their powers for good and actually educate women about something important. And then I clicked on all of them and they were trash. Like, all of the signs that they listed are, in fact, not even ways to know if your body is burning fat. I was literally appalled at the lack of science that was on these, but there are ways to know if you are burning fat. And so, yes, I am going to myth bust the things that you are seeing on social media right now, tell you why they're nonsense, but then we'll transition and we'll talk about, well, how do you actually know if your body is burning fat? So, number one that I'm seeing in almost every single one of them is that you're peeing a lot. Well, this one actually cracks me up because if we're trying to figure out, like, well, my scale isn't really moving a lot, but like, am I burning fat? Well, this is funny to me because usually if you're peeing a lot, your scale actually is moving. And no, it does not actually mean that you're burning fat. It means that you're losing water weight. Now, can this be something positive? Like, sure, but it could also be that you dropped your carbohydrates, you dropped your sodium, you're dropping your overall food intake. There's lots of reasons that your body diureses that don't have anything to do with fat burning. Like, your insulin sensitivity improves, and so you start diuresing a little bit. Okay, that's wonderful. It still doesn't mean that you're burning fat. You could be doing that calorie neutral and not be burning fat at all. I think probably where this myth is coming from is because your body does produce some water. It produces carbon dioxide and water as it's burning fat. And so, but that it doesn't all come out as urine. You breathe off some of this, you sweat out some of this, you do pee some of this. You're not going to notice like this huge outpouring of urine, though. That's usually actually like you went on a low carb diet, or you stopped eating things that were causing you to retain water and have a lot of like bloat and inflammation in your body, and now it's all purging. Okay, so along those lines, this ties in, is that you'll have keto breath. Now, this was cracking me up because I'm like, well, yeah, if you're in ketosis, you are going to breathe off, what is it, acetone that you smell when your body is utilizing fatty acids to make ketones to burn as energy. Listen, your body is always burning an energy substrate of some kind. It is burning fat, or it is burning carbs, or it is burning ketones. That doesn't mean that your body's actually burning fat supplies, though, that it's actually dipping into like the fat that you see on your body and burning it. Now, you can be burning fat with carbs and you're not going to make any ketones at all. So, the carbon dioxide and water that you are going to breathe off as a byproduct of burning fat does not have an odor to it. That you're not going to smell that. So, that one's just complete nonsense. Then on one of them, I saw that you're gonna sweat faster, and I don't know if where they got that. That's also just nonsense. Maybe it ties back into this whole thing that like your body's making carbon dioxide and water, and so you're gonna sweat some of it off. But like you don't notice like some excessive increase in sweating as a direct correlation with like your body's burning fat. And then the other one that was really funny to me was that you're going to be cold. And I was like, okay, yeah, that actually does happen. And it's not a good sign. If you are so calorie restricted that it's making you cold, that can actually indicate that you have some thyroid issues that you're causing because you're starving yourself. It ain't a good thing. Now, like, if you go lose 100 pounds, are you going to run a little bit colder than you used to? Yeah, probably, as you have a lot less adiposity on your body. But like you going into like burning fat, no, you're not really going to notice anything with your body temperature. All right, what was another one? Okay, so this one cracked me up. Your fat's gonna feel squishier before it leaves. And the explanation that a couple of these people gave is that because your body is going to flood that area where the fat loss is occurring with water to flush out the fat, and it's going to temporarily make your fat bigger and squishier. Literally, No. If you notice that during body recomposition, an area feels like it looks a little bit bigger or like cellulite's changing and things like that, like the appearance of the fat can change for sure, especially if you're building muscle underneath fat and that muscle is pushing on the fat and then you start losing fat. But like, does fat just get squishy right before it leaves an area of your body? Literally, no, this is not what's happening. Your body's burning fat like all up in your mitochondria in the middle of your cells. Like it's not like it goes to like this underside of your arm and it's like, well, we're gonna pull fat from your Hello Marthas today. And so let's inflame that area so it's gonna get all fluffy and weird, and then we'll pull fat from there. This is literally not how your body burns fat. The next one is that you're gonna be hungrier. Well, duh, and that also doesn't mean that you're burning fat. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're gonna feel hungry. And you do need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, but the goal isn't even to be hungry, it's to eat appropriately to manage your hunger and satiety hormones like your ghrelin and your leptin and things like that, so that you're not a hungry little monster while you're losing weight. But you might experience an intake in hunger. But again, it doesn't indicate that you're losing fat. You could be hungry early in the day and then end up binging later at night and not burn any fat at all because throughout the day you were calorie neutral. Another one was that you're going to be stronger. And then there was another one that was like, you're going to recover faster. I'm just going to tie these two together because they're both along the same lines of nonsense. Strength comes from building muscle, which is a completely different process than burning fat. Can you do both at the same time? Yeah. If you're an untrained person who has not been working out, you actually can find the sweet spot while you're doing both, but they are completely different things. And for somebody who's been working out for a long time, it's pretty darn hard for you to build strength in a calorie deficit, which is what's required for you to burn fat. So no, if you're getting stronger, it is not a sign that you're burning fat. It's a sign that you're getting enough protein and you're doing enough strength training to feel stronger. And this same thing for recovery. Actually, if you're under eating to lose weight, you're not going to recover as good. So like, are these good things that they're happening to your body? Yes. Do they indicate that you're burning fat? Absolutely not. Ever heard of a bulking season where the gym bros eat insane amounts of food and then go lift really heavy on purpose to build muscle and strength? Well, they are getting stronger and they're recovering great because they're eating a ton of food and they're getting a ton of sleep, but they're also sometimes simultaneously putting fat on their body while they're building the muscle and the strength. These are not the same processes. And speaking of sleep, that's another one that I saw, that your sleep will improve. Yes, if you are taking measures to lose weight that look like this, you're getting adequate amounts of nutrition with a slight calorie deficit so that you're losing weight, and you're working out more, and you're managing your stress, and you're staying hydrated, and you're getting outside in nature and going for walks, and all of these things that can also produce weight loss, those can also make your sleep better. Like, you not having huge cortisol surges throughout the day or having blood sugar that's all over the place when you're trying to sleep at night. All of those things do improve your sleep, but they don't necessarily mean that you're burning fat either. You could do all of those things and not lose weight. Basically, what they're doing with all of these is they're taking things that have like a parallel benefit and saying that it means that you are then burning fat. And it's like, well, no, these things tend to coexist, but one does not indicate that you're necessarily burning fat. Better digestion was another one that I saw. No, it's a parallel benefit. Bursts of energy throughout the day. No, that's a parallel benefit. If you go improve your VO2 max and your cardiovascular fitness and your blood sugar is more stable and you're more insulin sensitive, you are going to have more energy. You're not going to have this huge crash in the afternoon. It doesn't mean you're burning fat. Okay, so now that we've put all of the myths to bed, how do you actually know if your body's burning fat? Because the scale doesn't tell us that. And this is so hard because like even when you know this, like you're still going to hop on the scale and be like, what the Oh, I get it. I'm the same way, even though I know this stuff too. But it really is important if you've moved into the phase of your body recomposition, of your health, of your weight loss, whatever it is that you're working on, and you are simultaneously working on nutrition and movement, which you absolutely should be. No woman or man actually should ever be losing weight without protecting their muscle, which means you need to be working out. That is a non-negotiable of sustainable weight loss. I can't preach from that soapbox loud enough, but then when you do it, it gets really hard to track your weight loss progress because the scale stops being as reliable of a tool because the scale isn't measuring fat. The scale is measuring everything that is contained inside of your body when you step on it. And so that is water. That is inflammation type water. That is also hydration type water, right? It is your muscles, your bones. Girls, we want to keep our bones, right? We don't want hollow little bird bones. We don't want osteoporosis. It's measuring your muscle. It's measuring your fat, your connective tissue, so many things. So if you're in the gym and you're doing a really good job with your strength training, you're getting adequate amounts of protein, carbs, all the things that your body needs for a really good, effective workout. And so you're putting muscle on your body that has weight, duh. And then you're losing fat at the same time. That also has weight. So sometimes the scale just kind of like stays the same. Actually, I have a client in her 70s who just sent me her body scans, and she's went up a couple of pounds on the scale, which didn't make her happy until we looked at her body scans and we saw that she's building muscle and she has lost fat at the same time, which makes sense because she's been messaging me for 2 months how much better her clothes fit, even though the scale isn't moving. So it's really important that we are looking at our body and paying attention. Am I reaching my real goal of building muscle and burning fat? So here's how you're going to know. I mean, number one, obviously you can get body scans, but that's not something that you can go do all the time. Like you're not going to get a DEXA scan every month for sure. You should probably do one yearly maybe. You can maybe get an in-body scan if you have access to that once a month. That would be cool. But there's stuff that you can be tracking at home just if you're looking for the right things. So the first one's going to annoy you. You know that body part that always shrinks every time that you start losing weight that you don't actually want to shrink? That one starts shrinking. That's a sign that you're losing fat. So for me, it's my boobs, it's my butt, it's the things I don't want to leave. Mine leaves my stomach last. That is just my genetic makeup. You can't target fat loss. Your body's going to lose it first from wherever it wants to lose it first. You have no control of that. But noting that it's happening tells you that you are losing fat. And if you just keep going, eventually it's going to hit the other points of your body. A lot of women start leaning out in their face first. So if you know that that's you, you can just take selfies, same angle, same lighting all the time, and notice, is your face starting to thin out? Do your clothes fit differently? Are you losing inches? Measure your body. Is your waistline shrinking? So that might be one of the last places that it leaves if you're in menopause, especially, or if that's just genetically how you are. But you could be gaining inches in other places. Like, let's say your legs are already really lean and you're hammering it with your squats. Good on you, sister, because them big old quads are going to help your metabolism, okay? But you might be gaining inches in your thighs and you're like, what the hell's going on here? But if you're losing inches in your waist, you are in fact burning fat for sure. You keep doing what you're doing. And then just pay attention to how your body looks. So again, I'll take the thigh as an example. Maybe the inches aren't really changing on your thigh because you're building muscle there and you're burning fat. But you look down and you're like, I used to have like a fat roll that hung over the top of my knee, but now my leg looks so different. I have this weird little bulgy thing on the outer end of my thigh, right above my knee. Yeah, girl, that's your quad. You are seeing your quad. So stuff is tightening, right? Stuff is shifting. Stuff looks different. Photos are great for this because once you get to a certain level of leanness, the scale, the inches, it's like they're all pieces of a very imperfect, incomplete way of measuring this, right? And so it's like the more things that you're looking at to gauge, is what I'm doing working, the better, because you don't want to continue down a path that is not working for you. No, girl, we ain't got time to be playing around with stuff that don't work. And what works for you in the beginning of a fat loss journey is not what you're going to be able to continue to do to see progress. Your body changes, so your plan has to change with it. So it's very important that we know, is my plan working? Because if not, I need to make a strategic change. But it's also equally important that you don't change a plan That is working. I mean, if you need to build on the plan or you're getting clues from your body that like you need to change this before you hit a plateau, okay, then by all means change it. But you don't want to be changing it just because you think it's not working when it really is. So, yes, I absolutely want you to pay attention to, is my body putting on muscle and is my body burning fat? But you are not going to know if your body is burning fat because you had to go pee more, you are having an easier time sleeping and pooping, or you have keto breath when you're not in ketosis. All right, so that's a wrap on that one. If you guys have heard any more weird fat burning myths that you're like, I'm not sure if this is true or not, go drop them in the Simplified Fat Loss group. I'm happy to fact check for you.